The college football experience week 8 reaction show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just added Pick'em Scorchers, where you can win 100 times the amount of money you enter. That's right, folks. Turn $5 into $500 in just one game. Plus, every Sunday they're giving away $100,000. Use that promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. And last but not least, you got like 12 hours to get into this thing. We're giving away $3,000 in our NFL Second Chance Survivor contest presented by Corey Pinkston and Barking Dog Properties. The contest starts Sunday, tomorrow morning. All right. And it's free to enter. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor.
Hey folks, this is Bud Foster. You're listening to SGPN. Let's let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience week 8 reaction show. It has been wild. It has been wacky. And it's been fun. All right. With the exception of some of these ones. Cause I got a lot of bitching to like, I always kind of bitch at things, the ranking system.
Old man yelling at cloud.
Yeah, you're gonna hear that a lot today. Just buckle up, all right? Because I thought some of these calls today.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Really bad calls today.
Yeah.
This was the week of bad calls. Folks, probably wondering who the hell you're listening to. That's fair. My name is Colby Swigga Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
I'm somewhat healthy. I just watched 1 million hours of college football, and I feel
never been better.
Yeah, well, it has been better actually, in a way. We got some right now. The Nevada Wolfpack are very close to winning their first. No, it's over. It's over. They get their first dub of the season. That was a little Dundee special, by the way. If you listen to us, Arizona State's up 7-0 on Washington in a fucking rainstorm, and then
absolute letdown spot for Washington.
Yeah, UCLA's up 21-0 on Stanford currently. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh up.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, kind of chalky. Almost entirely chalky, with the exception of one very surprising game. To some.
I don't know. Like today was I really am convinced, like, once again, in a way, like, what are we doing with 14 playoff? I know I've hated this forever. And there's to me, there's like 40 teams that could win it all right now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that, every single team continues to look vulnerable, even in the biggest game of the day. Ohio State did not look special, Yeah,
let's just open up with that, because I was wrong. I was on Penn State.
I was too. I thought they would be able
They suck.
Yeah.
I can't stand James Franklin's game plan.
Yeah.
Drew Aller, by the way,
Mid.
is that fucking Bubby Brister back there?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Ohio State. They were to me, they were the better team, but like
Aller, 18 of 42.
He should be playing for Iowa the way that he checks down. He never takes a shot anywhere.
29% QB rating. Yeah, 42 passes and you don't crack 200 passing yards. Something's going wrong there.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Ohio State was the better team. I mean, I still am not sold on Ohio State, but since they don't play anyone until Michigan, they'll be 11-0.
They'll be in the playoff.
No, Wisconsin might be able to get them next week in Camp Randall.
Unlikely, but potentially, I guess. If Ohio State plays really bad football and Wisconsin
that's
plays great
the thing.
football.
We were talking about this before. Like the Big 12 is kind of a mess, but like at least they have like quality. Like your average team in the Big 12 can get you in any game.
Yeah.
The Big 10 has so much shit.
Yeah.
It's like fucking just
well, when you
20 teams of shit and then a couple good teams.
That Baylor is probably, I mean, beat Cincinnati, so we'll get there eventually. But probably one of the worst teams in the Big 12, and gave Utah a hell of a game. Was leading Utah most of that.
Should have beat Utah.
Probably should have beat Utah. Utah just beat USC. Baylor's at the basement of the Big 12 or close to it. That should tell you a lot right there.
Yeah,
it's a deep ass conference still.
Shout out to the chat. Everyone's rocking along. Anyway, Ohio State, big time win there. James Franklin. This was the year to do it, James. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah. Next year, the schedule's not that easy, but it's not impossible.
I can tell you
get
this.
Ohio State at home.
Drew Aller got more hype than fucking than Peter McNeely. All right.
Well, nice. Good pull. I'm going to say this. Getting the better of Kyle McCord was supposed to happen this year if it was going to happen, because once that Ohio State offense has some experience at the quarterback position.
Well, he's not that good either.
Well,
they're going to get someone better than
cleaner than Aller. He's better than Aller, who he was this game.
Yeah, but they're going to find someone better than him next year.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
There's a lot better out there in the world
yes,
for both sides. Aller got so much hype.
Yeah. I mean,
so much
like
hype.
They said. I mean, what do the recruiting rankings mean? And that's exactly why those recruiting rankings can be bogus, because what they say, he was a 3-star, and all of a sudden he's getting offers from the likes of Penn State and Ohio State, the 6'5", 242 frame. And he's 4. Oh no, he's 5. He's 5. He got an offer from them.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Even the chat say the Pitt State quarterback was ass. Yeah, I mean, I ate shit there. I mean, look, dude, there's no conference more boring than the Big 10.
Yeah, it's the same friggin' thing every year. Every year, the Big 10 West will field a team that'll get slaughtered in the championship game.
Well, even that we'll get into, but
yeah.
I mean, Ryan Day, the defense looked good. I'll give him that.
Gotta give Ryan Day credit. You know,
he should beat every team on the schedule so far.
Yeah, his team is more talented than pretty much any team he faces until he reaches the playoffs. And even then, there are 2 teams in the country that are more talented at any given time.
And credit to Ryan Day. I still say this looks like the worst Ohio State team since that 6-6 year. Remember
with Fickle?
Yeah,
they're not that good, but here they are 7-0, and definitely in control of their destiny. Now I will say this: Penn State, if they're given a little assist from Michigan beating Ohio State, Penn State actually controls their destiny because they have the tiebreaker. So if there is that 3-way tie,
their resume is looking shittier and shittier.
Well, it doesn't matter because they're going to have the mathematical tiebreaker based on their cross-division opponents at the end of the season in a 3-way tie.
Yeah, but their opponents are Illinois, Iowa, and Northwestern. That all lost today.
Well, still, yeah. I mean, maybe that's true. I wonder if it's a little closer coming into the day. I want to say they had like a 2 or 3 game lead in that race, so maybe it's evened out now.
I can tell you, Nebraska won today. That's one for Michigan.
Yeah.
Wisconsin won today. That's one for Ohio State.
Yeah.
And what was the other game I said?
And Iowa lost. So
to Minnesota, which is on Ohio State's schedule.
So that stat may not hold up, but either way, it's not out of the question that Michigan or that Penn State could be that team at the end of the year that gets bumped into the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah. Yeah. The chat is talking about Patty C. Patty C. And
actually, I'm not on fire. Pretty shitty week of locks, but
no. You called
or shitty week of games.
You
overall,
called for a 24-point dog on the fucking money line.
Yes, I did.
Holy shit! Patty C's Wahoos is wearing the hat.
Look, I still got the JMU hat, and we got to get into that too. Wait, that's the wrong one.
Yeah,
here we go. JMU hat. But today, special win. First road top 10 win in program history. This team's been playing football since the 70s? That's pathetic, A. But B, that's a big ass win.
Yeah,
against a
unbelievable win for the Wahoos. North Carolina. I was 1 week off. Next week North Carolina plays Georgia Tech. Hey. I said, look, they'll fuck it up against Georgia Tech like they do every year.
Yeah,
it was Virginia. That's
not off the table. However.
Yeah, well, nothing's off the table. Mac Brown, they're the same fucking team every year for my whole lifetime.
Yeah,
my entire lifetime. Yeah. This is what they do. They look good for a couple weeks.
Well, what they do is they play a finesse ass style of football, and if they have the athletes that'll burn the other team, they exploit it. But then when they meet a team with similar athletes and similar physicality, it's anyone's game. They never.
I thought you were a moron for calling it on the money line this week. Now I'll say this: I didn't think I thought UVA. I took UVA to cover, but I was like, no, it'll be like a 7-point win by UNC, and then next week they'll lose to Georgia Tech because Georgia Tech ruins them every year. Yeah. You were right. I was wrong.
I just saw UVA. I think your hatred of Dabo Swinney and by I guess next
talking about
next step over.
We do it through the church.
Hatred of
we do it through the church.
That's right. Dabo Swinney playing
we do it right.
Sinister, holier than now. He's just Dabo Swinney is Joel Osteen of the coaching ranks. But you hate Tony Elliott.
I don't hate Tony. Well,
you hate Tony Elliott because he was
the hire
at Clemson.
Made no sense, right? Okay. And
I thought it made sense. He was an up and coming offensive coordinator with national championship credentials as an offensive coordinator. He's gonna get a job somewhere. He's got a cultural fit with UVA.
I didn't think so. I thought their offense was never to me. It was always they're like a defensive team to me.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying
Venables to me made sense.
I'm not saying he was the reason. Although Clemson's offenses were plenty productive on that whole era, and he was at the helm then. Look, I think he still could get it going.
Oh, I mean, you might be right. They look very good today. I was asking myself this in the studio. I go, I've watched UVA all year. I didn't think they looked very good until today. Now, is that Carolina's defense or is that UVA actually turning a corner?
Well, I think UVA was finding ways to lose earlier. A lot of close losses and games that ended up looking really ugly.
I mean, they almost pissed it away today, fumbling out of the end zone.
Oh my gosh, Hollins, that was I was about to puke. But yeah, they held on. Maybe it's them finding a way to win or just lucking into the fact that UNC couldn't capitalize on that. But either way, they got it done. Got to give them some props.
All right. Well, how about props? Speaking of props, Boston College they won 38-23, scored 21 unanswered in the fourth. Patty C, Boston College is now 4-3.
That is the quietest 4-3.
Hear me out here, though.
Yeah.
They have 2 losses to Florida State and Louisville, and obviously those are probably going to be the teams that will be running with them. However, what if I told you this is their remaining conference schedule? They have 2 non-con games. I'm sorry, in the month of October. So now that they've beaten Georgia Tech, they get UConn next. Irrelevant. They could lose it, whatever. They're sitting here at 2-2. The remaining schedule at Syracuse on November 3rd.
Very winnable.
Home to Virginia Tech on November 11th.
They probably should win both of those games.
At Pittsburgh on November 16th.
Winnable.
Home to Miami on Friday, Black Friday, essentially.
Let's see where those teams.
They could win all of those
in the ACC.
They're not going to, right?
Pecking order. Syracuse is dead last. Pitt is second to last. Miami is 5th from last, and Virginia on one of them.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's actually middle of the pack, sitting there at 3 and 4, which is pretty.
Dude, but that is a very kind schedule. That's why I took the over with them. If you go back and listen to our season preview, I was like, this team's going to win. They're going to be the most fraudulent team in America.
Should they win out in those remaining 4 ACC
then
games?
They might get in on a tiebreaker or something.
Well, Louisville would have the tiebreaker on them.
But what if Louisville loses 2 more times?
Louisville has Duke, which is losable, and a road trip to Miami, which is losable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if Virginia
Could you
plays
imagine if BC
even Virginia Tech
makes
is
the
capable,
ACC championship?
I would puke. Hey, but they might get
We got
Florida
rid of
State.
divisions, but damn it, Boston College made it in somehow. All right, Georgia Tech. Obviously, that's they suck. One of the games that just drove me fucking crazy today was Air Force Navy.
I mean, wasn't that exactly what you thought it would be?
No, this was extremely painful.
Oh, because it pushed at the end.
No. First off, the final score should have been 7-0. Navy's running backs or wideouts can't catch the ball. Air Force essentially gets 10 points off of deflection, like hits the receiver right in the fucking hands, goes 8 feet up in the air and gets picked for a pick 6 and another one that's led to a field goal. And then Navy goes all the way down the field with like a minute left, scores, and Brian Newberry, brand new head coach, maybe he doesn't know math, he goes for 2. Why? You're down. It made no sense.
Oh yeah, they were down.
It was 17-0 at the time.
Yeah,
you score a touchdown, he goes for 2. What is the logic in that?
Wait, going for 2 would make it 17-8. Yeah, you're still down 2 scores.
What the fuck is he
it
doing?
It doesn't make any sense. Idiot.
This game was incredibly frustrating. So I had
dub.
Well, and it really should have been 7-0, Pat. Like this was late into the game, 7-0. Air Force scored it on a wheel route, and Navy throws the ball, like it hits the fullback right in the fucking hands. Yeah. Right, and it just goes way up. Pick 6.
The under hit. Yeah. That's for sure.
I gave away the under. We can tout that.
There you go.
And technically, I got the number at 11, so I pushed. But I thought I should win that.
Let me tell you what. Navy had 124 yards of offense, so maybe 7-0. They shouldn't have won this game, but that game should have been a little closer.
Yes, exactly. I locked up this one, and it was funny. I had someone like the first 10 minutes of this game after the Golden Knights had multiple like 20-yard punts. I had someone say, Colby, you're a fucking idiot for that UCF pick. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. Oklahoma, they're not that good.
Yeah.
They're not that good of a team. Like, okay, you got the win. Congrats. And to be fair, no one seems that good except for Michigan, who never plays anybody. Yeah. Right.
Georgia could be, but we know even less about them.
Well, then they lose Brock Bowers for a while. I mean, this was easy money. I thought that line was ridiculously off. I am convinced that Oklahoma is not that good of a team. Like I actually think they're kind of like a 7-5 team trapped in a 6-0 resume.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe an 8-4.
They pull. I mean, SMU's decent, but they were.
But they're not really actually. SMU hasn't beat a team with a winning record.
They're okay.
ECU kept it close with SMU, and I mean, the SMU opened it up with like 5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
ECU's terrible.
SMU's not a great team by any stretch of the imagination.
I actually think, in my opinion, Rhett Lashley is underachieving at SMU right now.
What are they doing though? What's their record? They're
they've
5-2.
I know, but look who they beat.
Yeah, let me.
What's the best win?
I have to get back to that.
Give me the best win here.
God, I'm slow.
They get Temple with their backup quarterback.
They got Louisiana Tech.
Terrible.
Prairie View.
Terrible.
Charlotte.
Terrible.
ECU.
Terrible.
And Temple.
That's what I'm saying. That is the phoniest fucking record of all time. They're not good.
They lost pretty bad at TCU.
So I'm saying they're not that good of a team.
Yeah.
SMU, in my opinion, they don't pass the eye test. Like if you're struggling with East Carolina in the fourth quarter, I love my Pirates. They suck ass. All right.
You know, it's an even more compelling argument that Oklahoma's not that good. And I hate to say this again, but
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They
didn't really pull away. I mean,
but here's the thing. We're going to have a phony playoff. I mean, more so than normal.
Yeah.
I'm convinced we're going to have a really phony playoff.
This of year. Any year I think I've ever watched is like, I'm not really convinced anyone's that good.
I mean, dude, I think Oklahoma's going to lose. I mean, I don't know the situation with Jalen Daniels, but Oklahoma's next 2 games at Kansas, at Oklahoma State, I don't feel very good about their chances.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, could they win those? Sure. But they're like true 50-50 games. I mean, I don't think they should be favored.
UCF is the exact same. I mean, not even as good as Kansas, and it's on the road at in Lawrence. So but UCF was just like a team that had the same or similar athletes at the skill positions as Oklahoma had, and Oklahoma doesn't push anyone around.
Gus Malzahn of all people did go for that 4th down up 6. I thought you get, it was like a 4th and 2, I think 3 maybe in beginning of the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Like I said, UCF had the lead to start the 4th quarter, and I thought you go for it there. You're a 20-point dog on the road in Norman.
Yeah.
You're already 3-3. I mean, why not go for it? And Malzahn normally does that.
Yeah.
He didn't this time though, and I think that might have cost him the game.
He did get cute. He did get real Malzahn with the
2-point conversion.
Yeah, double pass on the 2-point conversion or the attempted double pass, which Oklahoma was like short field idiots. But look, they gave him a pretty good game. Oklahoma survived, but you're right. And if you're Oklahoma, that is the problem with one of these teams running these to the offense coordinator.
Oklahoma, Jeff Lebby. They're a gimmick team. They're a gimmick team.
And they're
any Lebby team's always been a gimmick team. You can win like 9 games automatically.
Yeah,
but
you move the ball.
Yeah,
right. But it ruins you. It cripples you in situational football where you need to run the ball because it's all finesse, right? And I mean, it's kind of like North Carolina in a way. They're a more talented.
You want a hot
North
take, buddy?
What's up?
A healthy Riley Leonard Duke team beats Oklahoma this year.
A healthy Riley, yeah. I mean, obviously, what we saw today is Duke with Riley Leonard and Duke with, and we've seen that obviously throughout the season. They're 2 different teams, but with him, they look like a better team than Florida State. Yeah. They certainly were a better team than Clemson.
Oh, don't get me started on that game.
They probably were a better team than Notre Dame. You know.
I mean, so Oklahoma's remaining schedule, Patty C. At Kansas, at Oklahoma State, home to West Virginia, at BYU, home to TCU. Will they run the table here?
No, they will not. I see at least 1 loss, and the Big 12 championship game is a threat to them too. I don't actually even. They could go to the playoffs. They're right there, but I think it just matters.
That's what I'm saying though. But if they get in,
who knows? They could. Because Michigan. We don't know anything about them. We thought, okay, these Big 10 East teams, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, at least they have these phenomenally dominant defenses, and they've been pounding it and figuring out ways to score against lesser competition. Come to find out, when they play a real defense of their caliber, their offense is bogged down completely. So,
or they haven't played a real offense.
Michigan, that's true.
Michigan doesn't play a top 60 ranked offense until November 4th. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
The season ends on November 26th, guys.
I mean,
it's one of the most ridiculous stats of this season.
Michigan this year, though, is absolutely throttling everyone. They're the team that seems like, okay, you can't really argue with what they're doing on the field. It's just you don't know until you see them against real competition.
What is their best win? Rutgers, right?
Michigan.
It's Rutgers. It's Rutgers. It really is.
That's a sad state of affairs.
Rutgers. Rutgers. Oh,
win
fuck
total?
Yes. Wait a second. No, the win total already cashed a couple weeks ago. Damn it. I should have prepared myself. I've been drinking too much over here. I have several messages. Just stay tuned to the college football experience this week. I am going to find all those messages and read them out. About when I said Rutgers would be bowling this year, I have like 10 messages of people calling me a fucking idiot. It's fantastic. I love those messages, but I'm going to make you eat shit, and I will call out your names.
There it is.
I'm going to find it this week.
Put them on full blast.
Let's go. What's happening now? Because the Golden Guido Shiano is dancing, baby.
Boom.
Well, not dancing, bowling. That's the equivalent of dancing.
What is Rutgers? 6-2, and a bye week coming up before hosting Ohio State and Piscataway.
Well, they're probably going to go 6-6, but it doesn't matter. They're in a bowl. They're in the fucking
nicely done.
Yeah, Quick Lane Auto Bowl or some shit like that.
Ohio State,
they're going.
Iowa, Penn State, Maryland. Although I'll say this: after this week, none of those games look unwinnable.
See, the
Ohio State's pretty close, but it's in Piscataway.
I'll get to. Hold on. Let me. I want to tell you that the college football experience week 8 reaction show is brought to you by SGPN Second Chance Survivor. Yeah, you're already knocked out of your NFL Survivor. We know it. All right. Don't worry. We got you covered with SGPN Second Chance Survivor, but you got to get in right now because the Second Chance season begins tomorrow. Presented by Corey Pinkston and Barking Dog Properties. $3,000 up for grabs. Winner take all starts this weekend. All right. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just introduced Scorchers. Go 5 for 5 and pick up Scorchers and enjoy a spicy 100 times payout. And for a limited time, Underdog has extended their first deposit bonus up to $500. Whew, they're giving away $100,000 every Sunday too. 10 lucky players will win $10,000 each tomorrow, every single Sunday. Holy hell. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. All right, we are back on the college football experience. Week 8 reaction show. Patty, see what you were saying is Rutgers could catch Ohio State or Penn State. I don't think they can. You know why? This is my point about why I would rather, like in a way, I think the Big Ten has the shittiest teams of any conference right now. Like I get it. You have like 3 good schools.
Yeah.
But you have 11 schools that can't really move the ball, or there's an extremely big flaw.
Illinois, Purdue, Northwestern, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan State, Indiana, Maryland, Rutgers.
Yeah. And Maryland is better on offense than all of the other 10.
Would you say what Wisconsin
However,
is?
Maryland is the most unprepared.
Yeah.
And they're normally bad on defense. So
yeah, if you're trying to say Maryland is a legit, like, I think where would Maryland finish in the Big 12?
they're like Cincinnati. They're on the same level as Cincinnati to me.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they may be a little crisper on offense.
Cincinnati's better on defense though, right?
Yeah, I guess a little bit. You know, I don't know. Loxley, I think fucking Satterfield finds ways to look idiotic and suck. Whereas
Loxley does that too.
Loxley has done that. I haven't seen him do it as much.
What is Maryland's best win right now?
Let's get over there.
It's Virginia.
Maryland is beaten Towson, Charlotte, Virginia, Michigan State, and Indiana.
So no team has 3 wins that they beat.
Yeah.
No team has 3 wins that they've beat.
Oh, they're counterfeit.
They suck. The whole Big Ten sucks. All right. With the exception of Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State.
What about Wisconsin?
No.
I was good. I was
I was the closest.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Get to that.
I mean, we're going way out of sequence,
Yeah.
but
Let's stay in sequence.
Okay.
Stay in sequence.
Next up, Mississippi football's back in Fayetteville, baby. Mississippi State 7,
Woo.
Arkansas 3. I lost a shit ton of money on this game. If you would have told me Arkansas was only going to score 3 points at home,
Yeah.
I would have bet so much money.
I had KJ Jefferson in the DFS. I flip
And
on
they
the
scored
TV.
3 on the first drive.
Yeah. I flip on the TV like at 9:05 in the morning, and they're on the 3-yard line going in. I was like, boom, DFS is going to be good today. That was it. That was it.
What the fuck? They're done. Pittman's done. I love Sam Polk Pittman. He's got to get fired. That's it, dude. They're what, 2-6?
Yeah, he's done. You got to figure the good folks in Fayetteville aren't into that.
2-6?
Yeah.
You only scored 3 points all game against a terrible Mississippi State team without Will Rogers.
Yeah, and you have like what year?
They started Mike Wright, the Vanderbilt transfer, who was a cool 8 of 12 for 85 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. But that touchdown was all the difference. Holy hell!
Yeah. Old pulled pork.
Here's what I'm terrified about. I want pulled pork Pittman. He shouldn't be fired. They're ridiculous. But here's what here's why I'm terrified.
Okay.
I want East Carolina to hire Rich Rodriguez. I got a feeling if Rich Rodriguez was to ever get a Power 5 job again,
yeah,
I think Arkansas would be a one of those schools that would hire him.
Sure. And look, Rich Rodriguez has had, I guess, one stop at a blue blood level program, which he's probably not going to get a look at.
Buddy, he's not going to get
until he gets, until he goes to a place like Arkansas. And then maybe he gets a look if he wins big at Arkansas for a few years.
He's like 60 now.
Yeah, he's like 60. But
the writing's on the wall, buddy.
The writing is on the wall. The time is ticking for him, and he's probably not going to get a huge. I mean, he's definitely not. A mid-level Power 5 is the best he's probably going to get at this point, and that's kind of what Arkansas is. And so, and he's like a cultural fit, I think.
Rich Rod at ECU is a cultural fit.
I agree with that too. Rich Rod, I don't think is going to mix well with snooty folks.
Hear me out though. If you're a Mississippi State fan, this might have been the worst day of your life. I mean, nothing against Zach Arnett, but the fact that they now have a 4th win. And they have Southern Miss later on the schedule, which will be a 5th win. All they have to do is do one more upset, whether it's the Egg Bowl, whether it's Kentucky coming to Starkville on November 4th, whether it's Auburn next week, and then they're bowling, and then he's extended.
He'll definitely get extended if they go bowling. You think?
I mean, I think so, right?
No, they don't look good. A 7-3 win. You see, when you're fighting for your,
if he goes 6-6, you think he's fired?
I just feel like they're gonna want more. They have a shit ton of money. They can hire a coach for like $10 million a year.
I'm just saying, what happens? I mean, I don't know. It makes it interesting. Him winning this game makes it a little interesting.
Let me see. What are Mississippi State?
I lost a shit ton of money on this game. I hate you. I said what? 3 points Arkansas at home for homecoming too?
That's bad. They do have a winning record. Their losses are to LSU, at South Carolina, and against Alabama. Pretty forgivable losses, right?
And then Arizona wins looking better
Arizona
and better.
Looks great. Yeah. Shit, maybe he is a good hire.
He's a great hire. They're gonna win the Natty in Starkville. Memphis 45, UAB 21. This was crazy because early in the game, UAB was up like 14-0 within like maybe it was 14-7. I don't know. UAB got out early, but boy, do they get their ass kicked once things got settled. I think I took UAB. I mean, I didn't bet this.
What was the final on that?
45-21. 45-21.
Memphis getting it going.
Silverfield is gonna save it. Like he's gonna get it. I mean, I know he got extended last year, but buddy, they're what 5-2,
having a pretty decent year.
And the remaining of the schedule. Oh my gosh! I mean, the remaining of the schedule: North Texas.
This is actually not
South Florida 7-2, Charlotte 8-2, home to SMU. I think they're better than SMU. I'll say 9-2.
I disagree that it's that much of a cakewalk for them. I think North Texas showed a little.
North Texas sucks,
a little bit today in Denton.
No, they're a terrible team.
Then they have to go to.
They're
North
a terrible
Texas.
team.
Okay, USF, they're a better team than Memphis is.
What?
Memphis is a better team than USF.
Oh, yeah.
At Charlotte. A little bit tricky.
No.
A little bit tricky. No. SMU, I do think is better.
I think Memphis is better than SMU.
And they get them at home, so maybe. Either way, you're looking at least probably 3 wins there. So an 8-win season for old Rhett. For old Silverfish rather.
10-2 for Silverchild. All right, Trent Dilfer. Welcome to college football. All right, tough year. Ohio, Western Michigan. I was right. You and NC Nick, I think, were wrong. I don't know what Nick did, but I think you took the Bobcats. Western Michigan, they're good. Like for being a shitty team, they're good shitty. we should pay attention to the Broncos moving forward.
Western Michigan.
They covered for me. Hayden Wolf threw for 290.
Nice.
Yeah, they're good shitty, man.
Ohio though, getting the dub.
I don't trust them anymore.
Now I got to look.
I don't trust Ohio anymore.
Mid American standings here, and
well, the big one was Toledo, Miami, Ohio today, where Brett Gabbert got injured, but Toledo got that dub. I was on the wrong side of that.
Toledo was way out front early. I felt like an idiot because I think I was leaning Miami, Ohio, but then Miami, Ohio closed that gap. Pretty good game there.
And they were then they stripped sack. I don't know. I mean,
Miami, Ohio sitting there at 6-2.
Toledo's a weird
7-1. That was probably
when they need to show up, they show up.
Yeah.
And then when they play everything that like another game, they'll barely beat, and that eventually catches them. So I don't know.
What was the final on that? Toledo. Sorry, it was 21-17. That's probably a preview of the MAC championship.
Yeah,
based on where, because Miami, Ohio has that tiebreaker on Ohio, right? In the East.
Yeah. Ohio had an onside kick off the guy's face. I've always said that they should do that.
Just
try to kick it right at your face.
Yeah,
as hard as you can.
What is that, Waterboy? Who's my bitch? Who's my bitch?
Baylor 32, Cincinnati 29. Patty C.
It's over. That
You're
was the
2-5.
worst fucking prediction I ever made in my life. Good God.
2-5. Your
Once
future
again,
is not cooked yet. It's not cooked yet, buddy. Have faith.
Outgained the other team by a not insignificant amount of yardage. I want to say it was 396 to 450. So, it's almost even, but still Cincinnati should have maybe. But when you fucking let the other team score 2 touchdowns in 7 seconds by handing them off the ball at the goal line on your kick return.
Wait, so hold on. I want your prediction here. 2-5 at Oklahoma State Halloween weekend.
That's a loss.
2-6.
Yeah.
Home to UCF.
It's a loss.
2-7.
Yeah.
At Houston.
It's a loss.
2-8. At West Virginia.
Loss.
Home to Kansas.
Loss.
They're gonna go 2-10 in Sandy's first year.
If this is what they do every week, they find a way to lose, and they're fucking consistent. This is a 5-game losing streak. Why should I believe that this is gonna stop? They had momentum a few weeks ago, and it was like, oh, this team is looking good, and then they shit the bed against Miami, Ohio, and everything fell apart. But look, that was probably the symptom happening before there's an actual disease there. The disease is Scott Satterfield. It's Emory Jones.
Yeah.
What you're mentioning when we're talking before the podcast, that program momentum is lost, and I agree with you.
The hire made no sense, man.
Yeah.
More than any hire, I want to say, I honestly think almost more than any hire maybe in my lifetime. Because they were about to fire him.
Yeah.
And then you paid them money to hire someone you're supposed to get your fans and alumni excited.
They could.
This was like failing upward. This is it's like
who is that? Who did that at the Arizona job? Cliff Kingsbury.
And
he's about to.
Kingsbury failed upward too.
He's about to fail upward again if Lincoln Riley leaves and he takes over at USC.
I don't know what it is, but they suck ass.
A supermodel face and you're slaying dimes in Thailand.
Some say that I do have a supermodel.
That's
face.
true. You're failing upward in life.
Yeah, there you go. Rutgers 31, Indiana 14. I kind of talked about this. Scarlet Knights are bowling. Dundee, play of the year.
Boom.
One of them.
Old Golden Guido. Now, is this you have to?
So who's getting that Indiana job?
Who cares?
Bobby Knight. I don't know.
Someone who won't win. Only Urban Meyer could take Indiana, and that's kind of what I need to happen at Cincinnati. I'm harping about this on Twitter, so sorry if I'm redundant if you're seeing my tweets, but they got to get rid of Satterfield, and Urban Meyer is an alum.
They're going to keep Satterfield for 2 more years after this year.
No,
they just gave themselves a prison sentence.
How about show some fucking guts and just pull the plug now? Be that gangster, Cincinnati. Be the program that you were that took you from the group to come Conference USA 10 years ago.
What's the last program to fire someone after 1 year that wasn't involving a scandal?
That wasn't a interim coach.
No, I'm saying
that hired
Satterfield. Yeah. I mean, they better.
I don't know.
They better hire a PI to follow him around every strip club in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? They better
have ass walking in front of him at all times.
Searching for dirt on Satterfield. ULM covered against Georgia Southern because that's what they do. I mean, the game was actually a lot closer. Georgia Southern scored with 157 left.
You know what they need to do? They need to get that chick from Michigan State to come speak at a Cincinnati function.
Have Satterfield.
That's right. Seduce Satterfield and then rat him out.
Yeah. Oink oink's on it. Set up Satterfield like they did Mel Tucker.
That's right.
Yeah, ULM played good, man. They lose by 10, but that was like a 3-point game with 3 minutes left. Shout out to Bowden. They need to be patient with Bowden because I like what he's doing there with the Warhawks.
Yeah, I mean, what was that score? 38-28. Reasonable. Georgia Southern not an amazing team, but not a bad team. Still, that's way better than Louisiana Monroe was a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's got them playing much more competitively. Let's get to the elephant in the room today. The Charlotte 49ers, the Clits, 10, East Carolina 7. Biff Poggi gets his first. Is this his first FBS win?
No,
it is.
Right? Is it?
It is
against Mike One Houston. I think if Mike Houston was out before last week, there's a stake through his heart in your rankings this week.
I just want to read you the East Carolina offensive numbers. You ready for this?
Yeah.
They ran for a cool 39, passed for a bold 88, had 127 yards offense at home against a team that hadn't beaten another FBS. Mike Houston, get the fuck out of Greenville, dude. Get the fuck out of Greenville tonight.
When did Charlotte even start their football program?
They started their program like 10 years ago. They're called the Clits. You suck so much, Mike Houston. All right, gone. Gone.
You know what that does though? That makes JMU look like a coach-proof school. Coaching turnover doesn't hurt because Withers failed, right? Houston's failing. I feel like there was at least one other that just took an L there. Look, and speaking of no rushing yards, let's go back to Thursday for 1 minute.
All right, that was one of my locks.
Marshall,
I'll play that music.
-4 rushing yards on the season. Opponents against JMU are now averaging less than 40 yards rushing per game.
I locked up JMU, buddy.
Nice.
East Carolina sucks ass. They should call Signetti.
They should call Rich Rodriguez.
No, I don't know. Yeah, Rich Rod's phone call number 1. Skip Holt's phone call number 2.
Signetti's not going.
You know who should phone call number 3 should be? It should be Willie Simmons with Florida A&M.
Yeah, is he doing things?
Yeah, they're doing things. The Rattlers.
There you go.
ECU sucks ass. I'll never play that fucking song ever again. You fucking losers. Everyone who wears a uniform is a fucking loser.
It's a tough
What
year.
the hell is happening? Hey, there's a thing called the transfer portal. Everyone else uses it. They should give it give it a whirl. When you see your quarterback play as bad as it is in practice, you say, hey, you know what? I have 6 months to bring in somebody. No. Mike Houston's just like, no, we're going to stay with our system.
Well, best quarterback recruit in ECU history. They probably promised him.
Yeah, recruiting rankings are a fucking sham. All right, Akron 14, Bowling Green 41. Leffler, Patty, see, you were on it. 4-4 are these Bowling Green Falcons.
Jeez, old Scotty Leffler.
I think they're going to go bowling. They still have Kent State on the schedule. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Based on where that program was before he got there, maybe Scott Leffler's doing a decent job. It's taken him a while, but sometimes you got to have a little patience.
Yeah. Oklahoma State 48, West Virginia 34. I lost more money on this game.
Would you say
I didn't have the greatest day today?
Yeah, me neither.
I lost a bunch of money. I mean, shout out to Gundy scoring 48 on the road in Morgantown. He has their number. He fucks them up every year. I feel like
that's like 4 in a row in Morgantown.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
Ollie Gordon, their running back, and get ready for this, Oklahoma. 2 weeks from now, Ollie Gordon, 282 yards on the ground, 9.7 yards a rush on the road. Whoo! Watch out!
That's running the rock.
Watch out!
You wouldn't think. I mean, I guess of all conferences to not be fazed by a hostile road environment, the Big 12, especially like rednecks, probably don't intimidate the people of Stillwater. They go there. It's like, okay, you're just like my next door neighbor. You're throwing batteries at me. Your couch is on fire. Okay, I see this every day.
What a stat line for Olive Garden. I mean, just dominating, just dominating. I did hit on this. I actually didn't have as. I mean, look, I think I had I didn't tally it up. I think I might have had a losing day, but I definitely lost a lot of money on because you have different amounts of money on different games.
Yeah,
the Arkansas game just fucking from the start. From the start. I did lock up Washington State plus 20 points though. Nice. Kind of felt like I backdoored this, but I mean, this game was a lot closer.
Yeah, for most of it. Or at least for the first 2 quarters. I feel like Oregon pretty much opened it up. But
third quarter, they opened it up.
Yeah.
Wazoo gets the cover. Oregon gets the win. Patty C, is Oregon going to play for the Pac-12 championship?
Probably. I mean, what's that score with the Washington game? Talk about counterfeit at the top. That's the number 5 team in the country.
Arizona State's up 7-3 in the third.
Yeah. Fuck this year. Well, fuck it. Fuck
Penix has been picked off twice. Borgat is throwing for a cool 70 right now. I don't think the Ducks will, but they're definitely going to be in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, you have to figure at this point. I don't know if they've already announced it, but I guess they have to wait for Washington to get a win. But College Game Day probably going to
next week.
Yeah, to Utah. next week too.
Wait, is that next week or the week after? I'm not sure if they might get a bye.
Let me double check that, but I
They
do.
might get a bye.
Utah is playing who next week? I can't even get over there.
They are playing Oregon. They're hosting Oregon.
Oh, that's what it is. That's probably going to be College game day. You would think.
What the Pac-12 just delivering every week with these games. Tennessee, Alabama. I did take Alabama -8. That thing cashed, but holy shit. Tennessee dominated the first half, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They probably should have been up more.
Yeah.
Alabama, whatever. That must have been a hell of a halftime
Couple
speech.
drives petered out near the end
speech.
zone for Tennessee.
Yeah. Either way.
I mean, that's just what Saban does.
But dude, Milroe had, I mean, look, Alabama deserved to win this game, but I'm just saying Milroe, one of those throws to get the lead, the drive to get the lead. I'm telling you, they haven't caught him yet. Like he hasn't thrown pick sixes. I forget what the down scenario was, but I'm saying like he had a crazy throw in like triple coverage.
Yeah.
Where the Bama wideout made a great play by like stepping in front of the defenders,
going up and getting it.
I just don't think you can live by that. The Bama defense is
a good team.
Yeah,
you can't.
Yeah.
But who's left on Bama? I mean, I still think LSU is going to.
I think
slap the shit out of Alabama.
Well, I don't know. At Auburn's always wacky. You never know that Auburn game. Auburn looks like ass, but at the same time, you never know. That could be
rivalry
wacky.
Game. Yeah.
I hit on this, but I thought after watching the first half, I was like, holy, they asked me, I did it. I was on a show. They're like, would you take Bama right now? And I go, no, no, I would not
to win it all.
No, at halftime they were asking me.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyway, they get it done.
Oh, Nick. Well, that's in 2 weeks. And you got to figure that's where College game day will be in 2 weeks. I don't know what the rest of the slate is, but
that slate is fire.
Hosting LSU at Bryant Denny.
Slate is fire, dude. I was looking at it the other day. South Florida, your Bulls, Patty C. 24, UConn 21. You went up to the wrench, you got twisted, and you came away with a dub.
I had a little comeback there. They're getting smacked early, I feel like, and then got it done.
Hey, they moved to 4-4.
Respectable.
4-4.
I said
4-4.
Alex Galesh will have, if he stays for 6 years, which is probably unlikely if they have some success, but 3 10-win seasons in that 6-year period. It'll probably be, I'm going to say this, year 3 that he gets his first one, year 5 and year 6. And maybe there's a little letdown in year. I don't know when Byron Brown is a senior, how much eligibility he has left. Maybe there's like a little step back. And then
he threw for a cool 203 and a pick today. What can we talk about the Tennessee, please? The Tennessee game. I mean, I guess we could dive deeper into it. I just thought Tennessee didn't show up in the second half, and also Nick Saban clearly made some great adjustments, and he got to his team somehow because they came out motivated. It was like the third play of the fucking second half, and they threw like a 50-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah. Saban is so good about not asking his quarterbacks to do what they can't do. I did think early in that game he was getting a little cute and trying to keep Milroe in the pocket, and it just wasn't clicking. And then maybe
but Tennessee let him off the hook once or twice.
Yeah,
like Tennessee had a third down early in that game where they had to settle for a field goal. The tight end had the tight end wide open and didn't come away with points. Should have came away with 7 there. Should have made him pay. That's what I mean though, is that they didn't make him pay with that Milroe pass.
Yeah. They got down into the red zone, I think a couple times and didn't deliver.
Still
Milroe still sucks. He sucks.
Like I said with Ohio State, this is still like the worst Bama team.
Yeah.
But here's the best thing if you're an Ohio State or Bama fan. Everyone sucks. So like,
yeah,
you could win
alive.
it all.
Yeah.
There's
especially
a strong chance you could win it all. Yeah.
They're not beating Georgia though.
Georgia doesn't have Brock Bowers anymore. That's huge.
That is huge.
They have no run game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be
devoid of weapons. We're gonna see Georgia's remaining slate is starting to look a little more daunting though, right? Who do they have? Let me get.
They get Mizzou. Don't disrespect my Tigers. We're gonna get there in a second. Hang on. I lost a big old bag of money on Central Michigan against Ball State. This line stunk, and I stuck to betting it, even though it stunk. I dove into. This is why I don't dive into the stink. This line made no sense. I bet Central Michigan because of my offseason emails from Coach, and they suck. Central Michigan sucks ass. I hate everything.
What was that line?
It was like Central Michigan -4.
Yeah.
Or 3.5 or something.
Ball State gets the cover. Yeah.
They
surprising.
Suck.
Yeah. I guess,
they suck.
Vegas is good at it. I like, trusting myself when I see something that doesn't look right. I do think that Vegas is onto something. And I guess you could say
that one smelled and I still bet the hell out of it.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give Vegas credit, and there is something to be trusting yourself when you see it smelling.
Yeah.
To notice that.
This was like the LSU Ole Miss game where I was like, why is this line like this?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just know.
Yeah. Courtney Love.
Patty C, I can't wait to do the Wednesday show with you and Nick because see, Nebraska won today.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa lost today. What if I told you that in conference? Well, I guess Iowa's still 3-1, huh?
Has Wisconsin already played Nebraska?
Wait, no, they haven't updated these. Iowa's 3-2.
Iowa's 3-2. Minnesota's 2-2. Nebraska's 2-2. Wisconsin's 3-1.
But they have Ohio State on deck,
so they'll be 3-2.
And then Iowa has the tiebreaker on them.
Oh, so Iowa's pretty.
But now
much,
Minnesota has the tiebreaker on Iowa.
Are we gonna have a 4-way?
I'm saying Nebraska's still alive because they still play Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin.
Nebraska. Let me get that.
No. I'm sorry. They played Minnesota already. They lost in the Minnesota is the front runners, I think.
I mean, yes, assuming
if Ohio State beats Wisconsin.
Remaining slate for Nebraska.
This is disgusting.
Purdue, that's a win maybe, and Lincoln, who knows? That might be a loss. At Michigan State,
no, they could win all these.
They could win that.
I was looking
hosting Maryland.
That's a win.
At Wisconsin, that's a 50-50 game.
That is a 50-50 game.
And then they should be dogs even hosting Iowa.
Can you imagine that if Rule goes 7-5, wins plays for the Big Ten championship? Just want to vomit.
Yeah. That would be the most Big Ten West ending of the Big Ten West.
Unbelievable. Eastern Michigan. That was one of my locks. They covered. They didn't win, but they covered because that's what Chris Creighton teams do. And they actually were winning like the entire day and then blew their lead in the fourth quarter. Tommy Hammock gets no dub, but Pick Dundee gets a win. NC Nick was on this one too.
Tommy Hammock trimming up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, He's gone from what I would describe as rotund.
Subway diet.
He's yeah. Hopefully he's not following everything Jared's
never mind.
Prescribing
never
there.
Mind. I can't say that one anymore. Okay, it's the
he's off the Polish sausages up in northern Illinois. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cheese free.
Eastern Michigan got the cover. Even the Northwestern did get the cover for us. Let's talk about these Missouri Tigers because that's another one today. You know what Missouri is, Patty C? They're 7-1.
They're kind of awesome, is what they are.
Well,
and they could be 8.
Do you know your boy Dundee was on this one?
Really?
Oh, this week's going to be a lot of fun on the.
A lot of touts
on the weekday shows. You probably want to. No one's going to listen to the pod, but I'll still love I'll still love it. All right. They're gonna be like, guys, Colby's gonna be bragging about his win totals.
A lot of unfollows coming up.
That happens.
You gotta. What do they call it? Weed out the fakers.
You can never be too successful. You got to keep yourself level.
That's right.
All right.
That's what I tell myself.
I'm very successful with my picks, but then I brag about it and I lose all the listeners.
There you go.
Very Ric Flair of me.
That's right. You got to be a villain. If you're not a villain, you're not having enough fun in life.
Dude, Mizzou. First off, Drinkwitz magic. Let me ask you something here.
Yeah.
They get a bye week before they go to Georgia. They're 7-1. Bye week before they go to Columbia. Oh, sorry, Athens, not Columbia. Then it gets kind of hard after that. Home to Tennessee, home to Florida, at Arkansas. Could they go 10-2? Should Mizzou be talked about? You know what's great about Mizzou's game against Georgia? It's the week after the cocktail party.
Yeah.
So they focus on the cocktail party. Now Drinkwitz is still going to lose that game because that's what I feel like they just
maybe that's what Drinkwitz would have done in the old drink, but maybe now he's turned a corner because they are looking pretty damn good. They really should have maybe beaten LSU. I mean, they were right there. They got a late touchdown.
Of course, they were up the whole game. They should have beat them.
Yeah,
they were up for like 50 minutes of the 60 minutes. Probably more. Probably like 55 minutes. Unbelievable. Let's talk about your Gamecocks. Shane Beamer's going to break his other foot because his team sucks ass.
They do suck. I mean,
let me ask you this: what's their final record going to be? They're 2-5.
Yeah.
Next up is at A&M.
Probably lost.
2-6. Yeah. Home to Rich Rod and Jacksonville State.
I would love it if they're the second best Gamecocks.
Please. Then home to Vandy, home to Kentucky, home to Clemson. This team's going to be asked. They're going to win 4 games this year.
They're sitting there
4 games at most.
at 2-5. Yeah. You're probably right.
I did take the under
4-8. 4-8.
Okay. I ate a big old bag of shit. So I had Illinois plus 3 points. I don't know how the fuck I lost this game, to be honest, because Wisconsin didn't have their starting quarterback, which apparently,
Helps that
Mordecai's
offense.
Graham Mertz 2.0, because but going into the fourth quarter, Patty C, Illinois hadn't trailed the entire game, the entire game, and Wisconsin puts up 18 in the fourth and win 25-21. I had 3 points. I lose by a point. Fuck you, Brett Bielema. Oh my God.
Painful. Illinois did look like the better team. Luke Altmaier has a set of wheels.
How did we not hit this set of wheels? But he only threw for a solid buck, 100, just 100 yards. Meanwhile, Braden Locke's over there looking like fucking the second coming of Tommy Kramer. You know what I mean? He threw for 240, 2 touchdowns. 2-minute Tommy's back. Man. That's a brutal loss, man. To be dominating that game.
Yeah. I mean, Illinois would have been, weren't they kind of like still alive? Let me double check where they were.
So I need to tell, like with 7 minutes left in this game, Patty C.
No, I guess they're 1-4.
It was
but that
21-10 with 7 minutes left. Illinois was up 21-10 with 7 minutes left. Hadn't trailed the entire game, and they lose the fucking game
and just get the doors blown
and Dundee's
off.
money just flies away.
You know what that is? That is little brother syndrome, I think, coming out for Illinois. Whatever. Who knows why? You would think a state that has the city of Chicago in it would have all the attitude it needs and all the confidence it needs to kick everyone around its ass, especially, humble old Wisconsin. But
unbelievable.
In football and in the NFL and in college football, Wisconsin seems to just mentally dominate Illinois as a state.
I just can't believe I didn't hit that. Between that and the Navy game, I know I pushed on the Navy game, but I feel like fourth quarter, like I'm cruising. I'm feeling great about myself. I'm doing flips, calling old friends to talk shit about how smart I am. I hadn't heard from me in years. I just call them and say, guess what? I got another one. They're like, who's this? Like, this is Dundee. Check out Brett Bielema. They're alive all day today. They just hang up the phone.
That's how Colby keeps in touch with people.
Minnesota, Iowa. Look, see this one. I didn't actually bet this game. I bet the under, but I didn't bet the actual spread. But I do have a ticket for Iowa over, and I'm fucking outraged.
Oh, that one sucked.
This game was ridiculous,
Dude,
man.
The greatest part about this
ridiculous
is Colby called the ending.
Yeah, I said don't go for it on fourth.
Yeah,
punt the ball.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna make Minnesota go 3 and out, and then
return the
Cooper
punt.
DeJean's gonna return the punt for a touchdown. I said this before Iowa even punted.
They're either gonna safety him or they're gonna return the kick for a touchdown. The punt sucked, or it wasn't that great, so safety was out of the equation. Did force the 3 and out, punt return touchdown. Cooper DeJean, freaking
amazing play.
Yeah,
these refs ruined the best play on this entire college football Saturday.
Yeah. One of the most quintessential Iowa moments ever was just wiped off the board by some
for some bullshit
rule. I hate that rule. Hey,
what is that rule?
That is soft for the sake of being soft. That is the biggest. That is a crime. I don't know how long this is, or if it's I don't remember the waving your hand around. I remember fair catch.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, when you're running, can't you be fucking waving?
Yeah, you move your. I mean, once the ball hit the ground, we always would wave people away, and then you go, "Oh, never mind. I want to return this." You grab it and you run. The act of waving people away from the ball is now an illegal fair catch. You fucked up. We fucked up the game.
Yeah,
I didn't do it.
No, the game of football between Bear Alexander getting fucking knocked out of or kicked out of the game.
Yeah,
the sport is at its worst. It's been in like over 100 years.
Yeah.
We've
It
made the
sucks.
sport really fucking horrible.
Every week I look at how it's
Iowa got robbed a fucking win today on a bullshit call. I don't care if it's in the book. You don't call it right there.
Yeah.
You don't fucking call it right there.
Yeah.
And that rule needs to be overturned stat
immediately. You know what? Another rule that needs to get overturned immediately is defensive substitutions, having the play clock run, right? Because Clemson, or is it Miami or Clemson? I think it was Clemson.
Yeah.
Had to run the clock down, right?
Yeah, and Miami took their time.
Miami burned the play clock, and then Clemson had to burn their only timeout. And then look, they didn't convert on their overtime touchdown. I'm just saying, this is not the first time I've seen this where the defense is just taking advantage of a rule that's clearly stupid. They need to tweak it at the very least. Say the play clock stops at 7 seconds, during a substitution. Yes, it's a little more to manage, but at least theoretically the defense could just stay on the field substituting until the play clock ran out, and you'd get a delay of game. If the offense substitutes, I'm doing that every time. Anytime there's ever a substitution, if I'm on the defense, I'm just sitting there on the field saying fuck you to the offense until they change the rule.
So I am reading right now that a fair catch can't be reviewed.
Who knows? I mean,
it's got to be a judgment play.
It wasn't a.
They didn't call it on the field.
Yeah. So apparently they reviewed it.
They ruined the best play of the day. They ruined it.
Yeah.
The refs were so bad
some
today.
Sissy ass shit. Look, I was saying online, the reason for the fair catch is to protect a defenseless kick returner, right? Which I think is probably a legitimate rule. Like, we're generally pretty against we're against player safety. We're for player safety. We're against soft for the sake of being soft.
Yeah.
But if you're up looking in the sky and someone blasts you before the ball gets there, yes, that is unnecessary roughness.
That's how I lost my tooth.
Yeah, Colby can appreciate that one. But if you let the ball hit the ground, right, you are no longer a defenseless returner. So why should the fair catch still exist? You can't even fair catch it after it's hit the ground.
They deserve to throw bottles. I would have threw more bottles. Yeah. All right, that was ridiculous. That was a ridiculous way to end the game. That was the best play of the whole fucking Saturday.
Yeah,
and they ruined it.
Yeah, it was
should be fucking ashamed.
An
of themselves.
Actual
and when will these refs be fucking held
super
accountable?
Memorable moment.
When are they going to be held accountable? Is my thing here.
Everyone should. You should be allowed to pass out tomatoes in the stands.
Yeah, 100%.
Another referee destruction that we haven't gotten to.
Oh, no, that's the worst one, and that's right up. But first, Tulane barely beats North Texas. They were up 21-0. North Texas battled back because they got the heart of Lions, Tigers, and Mean Green. Patty C, is Tulane still the best? Is that the best?
Tulane is starting to show a couple cracks in the old armor.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, they aren't after that performance, but I guess you got to give that to Air Force, even though that wasn't a super impressive performance. But whenever triple option plays triple option, that's going to happen.
I'm not mad at them. Look, folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by the Game Time app. Buying tickets to your favorite event shouldn't be stressful. All right. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater that is near you with killer deals on last minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you'll be having at that very event. So what are you doing, folks? Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Once again, create that account, redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. Oh, buddy. Pitt lost the game today.
Oh man. Narduzzi'd the shit out of this one.
I mean, apparently the Kenny Pickett slide was a bad spot. That was another really bad spot though by the refs.
Yeah.
Really bad spot. And then Wake Forest comes down and scores. Clausen wins 21-17 as Pitt falls to 2-5. I had a future on Pitt. It's still technically alive, but that thing is fucking cooked. Unless they beat Notre Dame next week.
You know what the irony of this is? If you do end up getting 5 one-loss teams or a few one-loss teams competing for that last spot, and Louisville is one of them, that Pitt loss is probably going to be the disqualifier.
Yeah, I hate the 14 playoff. It makes me uninterested already.
Yeah.
Right. Toledo 21, Miami, Ohio 17. Great win for the Rockets. We kind of talked about that before. Yep. Texas and Houston. Here we go. Patty C. This reminded me of an Oregon State game a couple years ago, and I believe the sport makes no like. I don't understand the point of replay if we're not gonna like we use it situationally.
Yeah.
We don't use it every time we need to use it, which is they say that every play is viewed.
Yeah.
Well, if they saw the fucking play that happened, Houston got a first down. This was the same thing happened to Oregon State a couple years ago. I am convinced
the same thing happened.
I am convinced they do this. And whenever it's a big brand, whatever they do to they could push it along so the TV ratings are great, because if Texas gets their second loss, their season's cooked. And guess what? Millions of dollars for the TV companies are lost. Yeah. Something made no fucking sense to them. Yeah. Well, how do you not review that? How do you not review that play?
You don't have to go a couple years ago. You can go later today when Utah appeared to have gotten a first down, but was marked short of the first down. No review. The following play, they went for it. They got it right.
And they review it even though you got like 4 yards.
Try and take away. Yeah, exactly. They're like, and then the ref was like nervously like, and then the announcers even like pointed out, it's like, why are you nervous to call it a first down? Like,
made me so fucking irate.
Yeah.
Because I honestly don't know how Dana Holgerson did it. They would need like a police escort for me.
Yeah.
Because this is fucking ridiculous.
You can clearly see him. He gets 8.5.
You see the fucking guy spotting the ball.
Yeah.
Wait from the start.
Yeah.
He starts behind where the runner is.
Yeah.
And then he even walks back some.
Right. The spot was exactly at the 9-yard line. He clearly got to the 8.5 undisputedly. Right. The guy sets the mark at the 9, which still would have been a first down. And then they walk it back to the 9.5 and he's marked short.
I've never this screams David Stern. This screams fucking David Stern.
Yeah.
And how do they not even look at it? The biggest play in the fucking game.
Yeah.
That is a judgmental fucking play.
Right. Completely
they
reviewable.
Don't even the
spot. 8.5 yard line, fourth quarter, less than 30 seconds left. Houston.
This is bullshit. This is why I believe it's a fucking
yards away from tying or taking.
But I need the aliens music because I fucking feel like that was a conspiracy. The same shit happened to Oregon State a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Where Oregon State was about to knock off. I think it was USC. It was someone in the top 10, right? Oregon State gets a clear first down. They don't look at it. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? It was a 4th and inches. Yeah. I remember this play exactly, but I feel like it's always the schools that aren't like the name, like they can't have Houston beat Texas.
Well, this has been going
in the Big
on
12
for so long. Like, I feel like, I don't know if maybe it was Houston or maybe it was like Texas Tech or something. It was one of those smaller brands way back in the 80s where there's a play that you were showing me.
It was SMU, Texas. SMU, Texas. That don't get me started on that one.
Well, it was SMU clearly caught a touchdown pass at the end.
And the ref's just like, no. And they didn't have review. It's like, wait a second, that's a touchdown.
Right.
And he's just like, no, it's not.
His foot is it's not. A foot inside the end zone.
It was like a normal touch. It was like it was 3 feet away from the
Texas. Texas, if there was any like question all time that they have had, the powers that be in their pocket.
How do they not look at it? At least if they looked at it and came back and said, well, first off, it'd be impossible for them to come back and say that the runner is not there. The fucking announcers, Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman were both on it. How is everyone on the whole fucking stadium, all of Twitter on it, except for all of these refs and fucking Dean Blandino in the studio? And if I got to see Blandino one more time, all right, a guy who never was a fucking ref, all right, he's never been a ref. He's a dude that was doing open mics in New York City. All right. Fuck out of here. All right. How the hell is he even worthy of his opinion? I don't even understand why we're talking.
Like 2 different TVs, like 30 seconds apart. Like this guy cannot be like
the biggest fucking joke in sport. I can't take him seriously. I can't. It's like he's not even a ref. What are we talking about here? Why don't you call up my uncle fucking Larry? All right, and see his fucking 2 cents on this. All right. Good God, this play was so bad. That is the worst call of the season, and this is why it bothers me. Is that cost the university millions of dollars? If Houston beats Texas, guess what? They're going to be able to tout that on the recruiting trail, right? They're going to be 4-3 and momentum moving forward. That is bullshit.
Oh, you don't
absolute bullshit.
If you think for 1 second that doesn't have massive ramifications on like the valuation of
who plays in the Big 12 championship,
because Houston can always tout, a win over Texas.
They're never going to schedule them.
Yeah.
This is the one time for them to get them. And you let this fucking call that everybody watching
with 30
in the
seconds
world
left in the game
knew, including your own fucking announcers, Fox. And we don't page down. We don't get another look at this thing. Unfucking believable. It made me. I wanted to flip the fucking coffee table over there.
I mean, as mad as I was about the DeJean thing, I got online. Okay, that's a rule. That's a rule that is a stupid rule, but it's a rule. Okay, I can accept that, and I don't like it. But this is also a rule that every play should be reviewed, and it's clearly a first down. And they don't review it.
And oink oink, Blandino tried a couple open mics. You can find that on his Wikipedia page. You can also find the fact he's never been a ref, but for some reason we go to him for every big fucking call. Got Dean Blandino in the studio. Well, you can't do this. Who the fuck makes this guy qualified for this? Why don't he? What? I've been drinking, guys. UTSA beats the piss out of Florida Atlantic, 36-10. Me and NC Nick lock. I did win money there. All right. Nice job there, Ryan. I know you had Houston money line. Look, they
had the lead for a lot of that game too.
It ruins the viewing experience when you have. I don't care who the teams. If this was Texas, I would be bitching here and saying now it'd be like it's hilarious that they lost, but I would also say they got hosed.
Yeah,
because it's a clear first down. It's not even debatable.
Yeah, here's evidence is that. We just stood up for Clemson getting screwed over by the refs in their game. We're not exactly huge Clemson fan. Colby hates Clemson.
Hate Clemson. All right. I was on New Mexico as they won 42-21 over Hawaii. It's a hard ticket.
Call.
The Wahoos, we talked about them. Ole Miss 28, Auburn 21. I had Auburn +6. That did not hit. Hugh Freeze loses the Hugh Freeze Bowl. San Jose State 42, Utah State 21. Dominance from Brent Brennan and Sparty. Kansas State, I did hit on this.
Here's a sleeper team.
K-State -6, easy play.
Sitting there at 41-3.
Yeah.
As you mentioned before, one of their 2 losses came off the foot of a 60 some odd yard field goal from the Missouri
the longest kick in SEC history.
Walk off. So look, Kansas State pretty darn close to being 6-1.
Yeah.
They're a good team this year. Throttling TCU by 39 points. Not a 38.
Yeah.
Not a small feat there.
I also had some money on App State as they lost to Old Dominion. So here's what I'm thinking right now. Right now, Arkansas is going to have an opening. Indiana is going to have an opening. East Carolina is going to have an opening. Appalachian State's going to have an opening.
Here's how this is going to happen. Once Lincoln Riley, who's rumored to jet for the NFL, takes off,
he's not going to jet.
The dominoes will start all the way from the top and it'll just go push. And like every year, a third of the schools in college football will have an opening.
App State. This is unbelievable. They're 3-4. They've lost all of their games, but look at App's losses. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Overtime loss to North Carolina and Chapel Hill. A blocked kick return for a touchdown in Laramie. Yeah. Right? A last second field goal by Coastal Carolina, the final play of the game. And now Old Dominion by 7 points. They've lost all of their. This team could easily be 7-0. They got to fire Clark. Fire him.
Got to
fire him. He's fired.
Wait, let me see. Yeah, what's the record now? Sorry,
3-4.
3-4. That is a pretty big disappointment for.
They suck.
App State.
They suck.
I will say this. Maybe a good thing for JMU. You know, I would assume, you know, College Game Day is going to Utah for Utah versus Oregon next week. But maybe since Utah is a
Big 12
property. Wait, that's Fox, right? Maybe ESPN doesn't want to support a Fox program, so they go to JMU for JMU versus ODU next week.
They're not.
There's not a great slate of games.
JMU,
what are the other great games next week? I guess we can get to that.
Florida, Georgia, cocktail party. Hold on. Let me finish out these ones.
Let's go.
Coastal Carolina wins 27-17. Grayson McCall got knocked out of the game, apparently going to the hospital. I actually didn't see the play. We had the game on for a little bit, but apparently it was really dirty. But that's Twitter saying that, so probably looks like a normal play from 1996. I hit on Colorado State, even though they didn't win. They covered the 8. UNLV somehow, Patty C, wins and they move to 6-1. They have yet to beat a team with a winning record. Because
that's unbelievable. He might be coach of the year.
You know I have a shit ton of money on UNLV under 6 wins, so I need them to lose out.
Wait, what are they now?
6-1.
So the push would be.
I need them to lose every game.
All you can hope.
And guess what? New Mexico's on deck.
Barry Odom just fucking up Colby's
Fresno, then New Mexico.
Maybe Missouri's a much better job than we thought because
Missouri.
Yeah, because he.
I
guess he didn't do a great job. I mean, he didn't do an amazing job.
I didn't think he should have been fired though.
I didn't think he should have been fired either. Yeah. He was what, like 6-6, 7-5.
Yeah.
You know, 1 or 2 years into his tenure, you got to give him a little time. He's still bowling, but maybe they were right. Maybe Drink is a much hotter coach, but still Odom killing it at UNLV. I think they probably fired. I think maybe they just hire a bunch of good coaches in a row. Maybe that athletic director.
They still haven't played a team with a winning record.
UNLV?
Sometimes it just breaks your way.
Yeah, I guess.
Speaking of breaking your way, BYU moneyline easy play. Cougs 27, Texas Tech 14. Patty C. That was easy. It was 27-7 the entire game. Texas Tech got a garbage touchdown.
Cougs very much.
They go to Texas next week. It's a big one.
That is a gigantic one.
5-2 against what?
At this
what should
point,
be 5-2.
That is likely for a ticket punch to the Big 12 championship.
BYU doesn't lose at home. These clowns.
Wait, this game is
no, this is in Austin next week. But I'm saying Texas Tech was favored by 3 in Provo.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
It's a joke. Duke, Florida State. We're probably going to need 30 minutes to talk about this one. In my opinion, Duke is better than Florida State. I think Duke is a better football team than Florida State.
Yeah,
I thought they pushed him around on the line of scrimmage before Riley Leonard got injured again.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
Here's another one where the refs blatantly, fucked over Duke.
Yeah. Elko had a great fucking point here. Big 4th and 2.
Right.
They still had, this is before Riley Leonard's injury.
Yeah. They don't substitute.
And he goes for it at his own, they don't substitute. It's 3rd down. Florida State just assumes they're going to punt. None of their players go out.
Yeah. But Florida State decides to substitute.
Yeah. And then the refs hold the ball.
As if Duke had substituted.
And they hadn't substituted. And then guess what?
So to review the rule.
Florida State then gets time to call a timeout. Duke would have called
all they had to do is
27 guys are on the fucking field. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. There's it makes me believe there's a fucking conspiracy.
It was 4th and 2. That's a first down.
Yes. Automatic first down, 5 yards.
Momentum for Duke.
Yeah.
Puts the ball into the
Duke was. I don't care what anyone says. In this final score, they're going to use this in their little committee room. Oh, Florida State won by 18 against Duke. I don't give a fuck. Duke was better than Florida State today.
Well, while Leonard was in the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They are a better football team than Florida State. I hope they play again in the ACC championship. Yeah, Duke is a better team than Florida State.
And if you look at a comparison of their head-to-head matchups, Duke played Clemson. Florida State played Clemson. Florida State was lucky to get out of Clemson, right? Clemson missed a field goal that would have put that game away and given Florida State a loss. Meanwhile, Duke whipped the living dog shit out of Clemson. I don't think it's that big of a. I don't think anyone wants to acknowledge it.
How does the refs fuck that up too? Like, how do they? You have one job.
Blatant cheating.
You have one job to do.
You know what their job is? They're hired by the fucking powers that be. Their job is to get these teams, these Power 5 teams that draw these huge ratings, these blue bloods into the playoff. They're doing their job. We just, are being bamboozled about what their job actually is.
Florida State got so lucky. Riley Leonard got injured. They got so lucky. They were going to lose that game. They hadn't had the lead in the game with Riley Leonard there. And Duke should have been up more.
Yeah,
they should have been up more. They were controlling the fucking line of scrimmage.
We've already talked about this a little bit. Yeah, Florida State's counterfeit. The rest of their slate's very easy.
Who's more counterfeit, Oklahoma or Florida State?
Oklahoma.
I think Oklahoma is too.
Yeah, but I still think Florida State will get. They have no chance in the playoff. They won't win a playoff game. They'll get slapped.
Depends who they're playing.
Well,
they're playing Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's true. But if it's Georgia or Michigan, Florida State will lose by 3 touchdowns.
Unfucking believable. Army 0, LSU 62. Go Black Knights. How's that passing attack working? I remember when you ran the option when you played Oklahoma and Michigan, games were going into overtime. Now you started to go cha.
Did Jeff Monken is he really trying to get a different job? Because his name was being floated around for some bigger jobs a couple years back, and I think he was interested in them. Right,
well, now he's going to be floating around the community center pool because in West
trying
Point,
to throw the ball at a military academy.
Ask if he could borrow some kid's dinghy. All right.
Look, yeah, take a page from Troy Calhoun's book. Go back to the triple option.
Make them call it.
Chop block.
I was on, a late lock that I hit on was Michigan -24. I knew when they pissed off Harbaugh that was easily going to play. I was on Sports Grid today.
Yeah,
I gave that one away.
Harbaugh.
Yeah,
of any game he was going to enjoy, especially with that added motivation.
So, that was easy. 49-0. Michigan State's ass, but great win for Michigan.
Washington drives into Arizona State territory, but still down 4 points in the fourth quarter.
Hilarious. They're gonna win 10-7.
Yeah, probably.
Let's talk about a couple other games before we get into Nevada wins 6-0 against San Diego State. Let's add Brady Hoke to that list. 6-0 in a classic at the snapper.
He sucks.
Nobody goes into the snapper and scores touchdown. The new air raid with Jalen Iron Maiden, he threw for a cool 47 yards today, Patty C.
Not working out so well. Go back to being.
I was on Nevada. I'll tout that. I gave that away as a lock. Nevada plus the points.
San Diego
and the money line
is the who plays a similar. They're kind of like the Cincinnati. They have a similar mentality as a sports program, both basketball and football, of just hyper aggressive athletes that are kind of stupid, but play hard and are physical. That should be what San Diego State is. There's no team on the West Coast that has a physical identity as a program.
Brady Hoke's trying to change it all.
Yeah, let's get soft.
They should fire Brady Hoke.
Who could bring back a super aggressive physical mentality?
Mendenhall.
Mendenhall could.
We say that for everybody though. That's someone in the chat the other day was like, "You say Mendenhall for everybody." That's true.
I think
we do.
I think it needs to be like a hyper aggressive. Run happy.
They should hire Peterson though.
I think Rich Rod would be a good fit at San Diego State.
I think he would too.
But he plays soft ass defense.
True. Yeah. Peterson is the guy that should get.
Peterson. Yeah, he could be. But he's a little too smart for that.
He's
style.
from California, it just fits.
No, he's like a little Silicon Valley guy. You need like a thug. Some guy that's gonna get.
You don't think Peterson's thug?
Yeah. Peterson is an absolute gangster.
Next up, Georgia State 20, Louisiana 17. Get this, Georgia State went up 20-0 in this game. And Louisiana battled all the way back, got it to 20-17. They were driving inside the Georgia State 10-yard line. In the what's the quarterback's name? Jordan Blake threw a pick in the end zone. Is it Zion Chris?
Oh.
Threw a pick in the end zone as Georgia State survives and they move to what? 6-1. Patty C. These Panthers are coming for your Dukes. Huge win. Hey. That's the first time they've ever beaten Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. There are no layups on our schedule.
Yeah.
And fuck this. I'm going to take this hat off.
Yeah. Take that filth off and put a proper hat on.
At least over top of it. There we go.
2 more games to talk about. We got Miami 28, Clemson 20. Oh man. Mario Cristobal gets the dub. These refs were terrible in this game too. How about that fumble that was just sitting there in the end zone? They're like, no, it's a touchback. What? No one had possession of the ball. That ref just today was an awful day for referee.
Yeah. Although the next play, the guy runs at what? An 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And the fact that he recovers the ball
standing up
and he recovers it out of the end zone.
Yeah.
So how do you call a touchback?
It made no sense. It made no sense.
Just like, we fucked up. Let's
it's a touchback. So the replay says no one had possession of the ball. It was just sitting there.
Yeah.
It was a touchback. It's a touchback here. Dean Blandino says it's a touchback, Patty C. All right. Clemson. Third loss of the season, Patty C. Well, can we forecast they're 4-3? They're at NC State next week. They gonna win that?
Clemson. Yeah, they won't win that. Yeah.
You think so for sure?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That would put them at 5-3. They're home to Notre Dame.
Probably lose that.
5-4. Home to Georgia Tech.
They'll win that.
6-4. Home to North Carolina.
This one's tough, but I think North Carolina will beat them.
I do too.
Yeah, even in Clemson.
And then at South Carolina.
They should win that. What's that put them at?
7,
7,
8,
5,
somewhere
8,
between
8,
7
4.
and 8. Yeah.
I'll go 8-4.
Rome is burning. Rome is
4-3 right now. No, there might be 2 more losses on that. There probably are 2 more. We said Notre Dame and North Carolina.
Yep.
Yeah. 7-5. Yikes.
Even at South Carolina is tricky. Williams Bryce.
True.
I shouldn't sound this music because I lost a bunch of money and I lost a lock. I need some terrible music or something for it. But I took USC -6 pretty confidently, or -6.5. They lost. Utah. It doesn't matter if they have Cam Rising. It doesn't matter if they have their 3rd or 4th. They had a walk-on. They had a fucking walk-on starting in Bryson Barnes, who threw for a cool 235. He's a gamer.
He balled.
He ran over that little bitch ass safety. It's fantastic.
Towards the end of the game. Yeah. Safety had to leave the game. He just toughed it out. It was great. And then that last run to put him, he was like, I'm not giving my team a long field goal. I'm going to keep running and make this thing a very manageable field goal. Then wisely, Colby predicted this one, put the ball in the middle of the field, line it up, kick the game winner.
And Caleb Williams, how about this? 256 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Not exactly a high
performance. Kyle Whittingham, I know you said Oregon or Oregon State or perhaps Washington to the Pac-12 championship.
Utah.
How about the team that was a gigantic win because now they have the tiebreaker on USC. They're hosting Oregon in Salt Lake City next Saturday.
Massive.
I mean,
yeah, maybe it's too early to forget about. What's Cam Rising's deal? Do you even want him to come back?
At this point, get him back next year.
Yeah,
fuck it.
That's true. Right?
Do the Stetson Bennett plan. What a fucking great job by Kyle Whittingham. He's the best coach in America. I don't give a shit. Everyone says Saban. Yeah. Saban does great with the most paid players.
Yeah.
Whittingham he's a better coach than Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's better.
I don't know. Nick Saban did a pretty good job today.
He's a good. Yeah, of course he did today. But I'm just saying, like Saban, they go out and buy. It's Alabama. They buy the best players. They won national championships before Saban. In my lifetime, I watched Gene Stallings win a fucking national championship. Yeah. It's an easy formula to win a national championship.
Again, Urban Meyer went undefeated with Utah.
True. And
he's a great coach.
You know who his defense coordinator was? It's Kyle Whittingham.
Oh, that's true. And the identity of that team was their defense.
Just say it.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Whittingham's fucking incredible.
Incredible coach. Incredible.
Dude, how many coaches could win at USC with a 3rd string quarterback? How many coaches?
Yeah. I mean, look, if you're talking about preparation, installation of discipline, coaching, situational coaching, making the most out of what he has, Kyle Whittingham is bar none. I think probably better than Nick Saban. I think Nick Saban has a polish of a dude who can recruit and raise money more.
If you put a walk-on at quarterback at Alabama, they would not beat many teams.
Yeah, that's although they have Milroe, who's essentially like a running back playing quarterback.
He's still a stud. He's still high recruit.
No, I mean, they took Blake Sims and went to, or was it Blake Sims or who was it?
Blake Sims.
Philip Sims. Yeah.
Phil Sims?
No, Philip Sims was the dude that
Phil Sims was that the Giants.
But Philip Sims was the one that was competing for the quarterback job a few years back for Alabama and ended up going to UVA. He was a Virginia high school football.
Philip
player.
Sims.
Yeah, he sucked. You won't remember him because he didn't even
Okay.
start at Virginia. He got benched after like a game or two. But
You got me there. I don't
anyway,
remember Philip
Blake
Sims.
Sims was a fucking running back. He was like 5'10", and Nick Saban took him within a hair of the national championship, winning it really because Ohio State won it, and Alabama was just as good as Ohio State that year, pretty much. And that game went down to the buzzer.
All I'm saying is, you put Saban at Michigan State, and he won what? I think 8 games was like as high, maybe 9.
Yeah.
Right. And at the time, Michigan State was a much more like Whittingham has turned Utah into a fucking power.
I would say in terms,
It's harder
of
to do that. Like Saban went to places that have historically been great.
amazing resources. Whittingham has definitely proven more with less resources than Nick Saban has with less resources. With more resources,
Dude, this is an incredible. You know, their best offensive weapon besides that, their tight end. What's his name? He's been out all year too. Their best 2 players from last year have been injured this year.
Yeah. Oh, he's a phenomenal coach.
Unbelievable win.
Yeah.
Beat the fucking Heisman Trophy quarterback. Yeah, Kuthi. Anyway, that's our show. What else do we want to talk about right now? Arizona State's up 7-6. This is unbelievable.
Let's talk about UNC losing. Let's rub that salt in the wound one more time. South Florida's rivalry. Fuck you, UNC. You're a pussy school.
Patty C, let's do game balls here.
Yeah.
Who's your top game ball?
Virginia. Virginia deserves one. Sure.
Okay.
Let's look at this slate a little more here.
It's got to be Utah for me.
Yeah. Phenomenal game management there and just great play, great heart.
Yeah. So give me your second game ball.
I guess you got to give it to Ohio State. Biggest win of the day. You know,
you could say Alabama after that second half turnaround.
Yeah. Alabama. Yep. Holding on, staying.
So
quietly.
you say Ohio State. I say Alabama. And now we give away one more game ball.
Kansas State throttling TCU and keeping themselves alive. Look, I don't think a 2-loss playoff team is necessarily out of the equation. It may be because Ohio State will probably get in with 1 loss, or Penn State could also conceivably get in with 1 loss. But a 2-loss conference champion or a 1-loss Big Ten team, you know, who would get in? A 2-loss like Pac-12 or Big 12 champion, or a 1-loss non?
I don't know. I hate thinking
they move
like
the
that.
goalpost.
Yeah, it's I'm saying like I hate like it's a fucking.
Here's
joke,
what it is.
Yeah.
Penn State would not get in if it's 2-loss Texas versus a 1-loss non-conference championship Penn State. No, if it's Texas versus Ohio State, then it's questionable. If it's Ohio State versus like the likes of a Kansas State, then Ohio State with 1 loss will get in over a 2-loss conference champion TCU. We already know how this works. The one constant of the college football playoff has been
Makes no sense.
The big time team will usually
the
get
one constant is they do move the goalpost.
Yeah.
And that referee in that Texas Houston game, the whole crew should never work another game again. They should never work another fucking game again. All right. They belong in Rikers. All right.
Oink Oink says give the game ball to the rest. You want to give a bag of shit to the rest.
Folks, we'll be back. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We got some college basketball content we're doing tomorrow too. Subscribe to the College Football Experience, the College Basketball Experience. Give Patty C a follow on Twitter, Patty C831. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. I don't know. Fuck East Carolina. Mike Houston, he's a mole.
He's a mole.
First it was Scotty Montgomery from Duke. Right? And
now
Nick sent him in.
JMU
Then you sent Mike Houston in there.
Right. We're holding Colby down here.
Unbelievable.
That's right. If Jim Harbaugh's got little moles running around, why can't we?
Yeah. And Jerry Tarkanian and Jim Harbaugh are the same people now.
You call out.
I don't
NCAA.
even have. It's such a ridiculous case. They're just trying to find him on there. I'm not even a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
I hate the way Michigan's scheduled,
yeah.
but I just feel like the NCAA is grasping at straws here.
It's pretty silly.
Before they hit him with burgers. Oh, you're watching a Zoom. You're telling me. First off, NCAA, you just let Bill Self walk. All right.
The guy's on a wiretap admitting cheating.
Yeah. You just let Bill Self walk. Shut the fuck up. All right. Unbelievable. Look into any of these schools. Georgia's been driving 300 miles an hour, intoxicated, killing people in Athens, like 40 fucking players. And they just we get a pass. You bought burgers.
Right.
We understand you hate Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
All right. But I'm actually on Team Harbaugh here, which is crazy. It's crazy because I hate the way Michigan's scheduled. Yeah. I want to shit on them, but
Michigan's a Jordan Brand team.
they have a guy.
They're hateable in a lot of ways.
Guy that was in the naval base. He was in the Navy. He's going and filming plays. Fuck out of here with all this shit. It's all ridiculous, folks. We'll be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Can't wait to talk to you guys. Appreciate the whole chat rocking along. Sorry if I'm bitching a lot today. Lost a lot. I didn't win any money today. It happens. All right. We're being honest. All right. I could just say, no, look at it. I told you to take Charlotte. I put $1,000 on Charlotte. No, I didn't. I lost money today. All right, folks, till next time. This is the college football experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here. Run and shoot.